Hi, it's Mrs. Pope, and today we're going to be talking about radical equations. So today we're going to actually solve radical equations. So our goal is to solve multi-step equations containing a radical sign. So here's an example of a radical sign, the square root sign. So same idea as solving equations, multi-step equations, but these have radical signs, so they have a few extra steps in them. Here I've written the steps down for you, and you can follow along with them as we do the examples. But step one, we want to isolate the radical. Remember, isolate means to get it by itself. So the first thing we want to do is get the radical all by itself on one side of the equation. Then we're going to eliminate it. We're going to get rid of it. After that, we're going to solve the equation, just as you would any multi-step equation. And then, of course, step 4 is to check your answer. I'll let you check your answers on your own and see that you get if you plug it back into the original equation, it indeed works. So let's go ahead and solve this one. Here we have the square root of 2x plus 5 minus 4 is equal to 3. So if my first step says to isolate the radical, I'm going to need to add 4 to both sides to get rid of that 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Once we add 4 to both sides, then we're left with square root 2x plus 5, that's gone, is equal to 7. Now I've isolated the radical. I would like to eliminate it. Let's get rid of it. So the way we get rid of it is if you have the opposite of the square root is the square. So if we square both sides, that's going to get rid of our radical. So the whole radical sign is now going to be gone. So we'll be left with 2x plus 5 is equal to 49. Once you get here, you should be able to solve this quickly just as a multi-step equation. Trying to get x by itself, so we're going to subtract 5 from both sides, then divide by 2. I'm showing this way, the linear way. We talked about there are a few different ways to solve equations. So I'm going to, on these, I'm going to show where I put it underneath instead of next to it. Either way you would like to do it works with me. So subtract 5 from both sides. We have 2x is equal to 44. Divide by 2, x is equal to 22. So there it is. You can check your answers on your own. Plug that 22 back in there and see if you get 3. All right, let's try another one. We have 2 more examples, I believe. Yes. Solve 6 plus square root of 3x plus 1 is equal to 11. So we want to isolate the radical. We need to get rid of the 6 first, and then we're going to get rid of the radical. So first, let's subtract 6 from both sides. So this is gone. Square root 3x plus 1 is equal to 5. Now that we've isolated it, let's get rid of it. Let's square both sides. By squaring it, that gets rid of the radical sign. And so then we're just left with 3x plus 1 is equal to 25. From here, you should be quick. You should be saying, you're probably already done. So let me just catch up with you. Minus 1 on both sides. 3x is equal to 24. Divide by 3, x is equal to 8. Don't forget to check your work. All right, now look at this one. This one is a little different. This one, we have 2 radicals. How do we isolate a radical if there were 2 of them? Well, it's fine. This one's isolated on the left side. This one is by itself on the right side. So we've already technically isolated the radicals because they're by themselves. There's nothing added or subtracted to them. So we're going to move to step 2, which is to eliminate them. So because it's an equation, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. We're going to still square this, and we're going to square this side. If I square one side, I have to square the other. So it's no different than up here where I squared this and I squared the number. Now I'm just squaring 2 things that have radicals. Once you square them, they get rid of the radicals, which is nice. So now you're just left with x minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 13. So we want to solve this for x. Let's get our x's on the same side. Subtract 2x from both sides. Subtract 2x from both sides. This goes away. Remember, that's a 1. 1 minus 2x, negative x, minus 4 is equal to negative 13. Add 4 to both sides. Add 4 to both sides. negative x is equal to negative 9. But I don't want negative x, I want x. So don't forget to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, because that's really a 1 there. And your final answer is going to be 9. So feel free to check your work, make sure those turn out correct. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and remember, you are responsible for your own learning.